Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining today's webinar hosted by ASSOCHAM. My apologies for 5 minutes delay because of some technical snags, but we are right back, and I can assure you that you will have very useful 1 hour discussion with our eminent panelists. My name is Deepak Sharma, and I am Director of Strategy at Camil Consulting. I will be your moderator for today's discussion. Our topic for today is the impact of COVID-19 on the Indian cement industry. And what can be an appropriate time than today when we had core sector results announced yesterday for March 2020. The objective of today's webinar is to bring together the stakeholders from leading cement companies, the top industry associations, and the government to address the critical challenges this vital industry faces during the current lockdown and through the difficult weeks and months ahead. Let me now introduce our fantastic panel today. We have with us V.R. Sharma, Managing Director, Jindal Steel and Power Limited. Mr. Sharma has an extensive experience across multiple cross-sector industries, including steel, power, cement, and mining. He has worked both in India and abroad. Extremely passionate for steel, he has spent more than 35 years in the industry, bringing in transformational changes across various companies. Our second panelist is Mahendra Singhi, Managing Director and CEO, Dalmia Cement Bharat Limited. Mr. Singhi is a leading voice in the Indian cement industry and has played an instrumental role in the growth and development of the cement sector in India for the last 41 years. He has been recognized as one of the 5 climate defenders by BBC in their Climate Defender series broadcast in November 2019. Mr. Singhi also serves multiple organizations and commissions in India and abroad. It's our pleasure to have him with us on today's panel. My next panelist is Ms. Lopamudra Sengupta. She is Vice President Technical Services at JSW Cement. Lopamudra has more than 25 years of experience in the cement and construction industry. She has worked for leading cement companies in India and also an active member of BIS Committee, Indian Concrete Institute, and Indian Road Congress. We then have from Niti Aayog, Mr. R. Sarvanabhavan. He is Deputy Advisor Minerals in Niti Aayog since 2012 and has been associated with the formulation of policies of mineral sector and research-oriented issues. He brings with him an extensive experience of regulation and development of minerals across various regions in the country while working at Indian Bureau of Mines. And finally, we have Dr. Vivekanand Mohapatra, Director General, National Council for Cement and Building Materials. Dr. Mohapatra has extensive experience across a number of research organizations and cement companies. He is also a member of various technical committee of BIS and Chairman and Cement Sector Committee of Bureau of Energy Efficiency. It's my pleasure to have all of you on today's panel. Let me now start with some brief background for today's webinar. As we have more than 300 people already joined and continuously joining in from across the country, people working in cement and allied industries. I'm sure you'll be looking for ideas from our industry leaders that can help you guide on the front line. I believe you're also keen to hear about the ways we can all work together through this period to ensure Indian cement industry survives the current crisis and thrives on the other side. Before I hand over to our panelists, let me share an important framework we have developed at Canvey Consulting over the last month that has been particularly helpful for organizations and leaders managing the current crisis. We believe leaders can create structure and bring clarity by thinking and acting in parallel around 3 time horizons. These 3 horizons are firstly managing under the present lockdown, secondly crossing the chasm of low demand which cement industry will face in the coming months, and thirdly taking a new road to transform your business to succeed in what will be very different world post-COVID. By allocating mind space and resources to these 3 time horizons, we believe cement companies can navigate the current lockdown, withstand the coming slowdown, and successfully seize the new opportunities that will inevitably emerge. Let me now quickly share the sequence of speakers. We will have first Mr. V.R. Sharma to make the welcome address. I will then request Mr. Singhi to talk about the cement industry outlook in the COVID world, followed by Ms. Lopamudra, Mr. Sarana Bhavan, and Dr. Mohapatra to share their views. At the end of the address by each panelist, I'll have a question to ask them so that they can share their experience with our audience on today's webinar. In the end, I will summarize the thoughts shared by all of our panelists. Can I now request Mr. V.R. Sharma to make the welcome address and start the webinar?
Yes, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, my friends and my fellow panelists. This is a great opportunity what ASSOCHAM has brought to all of us to speak to each other, to interact in a very, very challenging time. The time is really very challenging. Most of the world, large and major economies are under COVID. More than 50% of the total population of the world is under the inside the houses, and they are struggling with the present challenges. India, being a part of the world, is not spared of it. We are also struggling. We are also part of this challenging time. We feel that hopefully from 3rd of this month there'll be some relaxation. I think there's some echo. Can you hear me, please?
We can hear you absolutely fine.
Okay.
I think there is some issue now. Can I request the technical team to look into it? We are not able to hear Mr. Sharma.
Sir, please, Mr. Sharma, please go ahead.
Am I audible?
Yes, now we are audible. Please go ahead.
Okay, so I was coming to the point that we discussed through FICCI, the Honorable Minister, Mr. Nitin Gadkari. He told that he has more than 450 projects now to announce, and the work will start very soon. And he has also given another ray of hope that the Sagarmala projects which are left over in between, and wherever the pace was little slow, so all of those projects will be started very soon after the COVID. So these two declarations by Honorable Minister that has given a ray of hope to all of the cement and steel industry, that the infrastructure industry may grow faster than what it used to be earlier. Similarly, when we discussed with the Honorable Minister, Mr. Piyush Goyal, through CII, and he explained that all of the railway projects and all of the other projects in the other ministries like Power Grid Corporation will start very soon, so that steel and cement consumption can be increased. Apart from that, the projects which are halfway today and those projects which were left in between after 22nd of March will take a reshape and restart to avoid the further losses to the contractors. I think the time is not that bad at what we are thinking today, though for last 5 to 6 weeks time we have been struggling. We have seen that whatever news are coming today with the quarter 4 results from various organizations across the sector, they are not very good, but that is the COVID is not responsible for quarter 4 results or the results of 1920 year. So I think the situation will improve, and we must think very positively. Government is trying their best to whatever relaxation or stimulus package they can give. We have requested to Mr. Nitin Gadkari and Mr. Piyush Goyal that please announce projects as fast as possible, because we have to go a China way. What China has done, in March, they declared $1.73 trillion of projects, and the construction industries are expecting 14 to 16% of growth in China. So China and India, in population, we are very near to each other. If a similar stimulus package in terms of announcing the projects is given, then I'm sure we can come up from the current situation. The country is very large with 130 crore people. If the Prime Minister Housing Scheme and the urban development schemes are put into place, then we can still make up. It is only 1 month gone. The second month is we are entered into it. It has become like a 2020 match. So I think if first week of March that brings relief to at least 70% of the country, then then cement and steel industry can definitely recover. Initial loss of April month is there, that I agree, but we can always assume that in a 12-month span, sometimes there is a heavy monsoon, sometimes there are cyclone at the ports, sometimes there are some other natural calamities. So this is also a natural calamity. If God is kind and if everything goes well, and if from say about from 7th May or 10th May situation becomes to normal, then we can still recover. There is of course a problem and a challenge of how to bring back the labor. We have suggested to the government that look, it is very difficult for the small contractors or even the industry to keep on paying to the workers, those who are not coming on duty. So the Shram Mantralaya, the labor department, will have to bring a general notification and advertisement in all local dailies that the workers must return to home by 15th of May. So sorry, the workers must return to their sites by 15th of May. If they return to sites by 15th of May, then by the end of May, all construction activities can start. The secondly, the harvesting has been very good. The crops are very good. So that means we can expect a great amount of economy and great amount of spending by farmers. So I am very optimistic that the country will revive. Though people are saying that we will be having a GDP growth of less than 1%, but I have all the reasons in my thinking that this will definitely cross 4%, and it will not be a surprise if we reach to 5%. But there is a condition. The condition is that we must open country as fast as possible, and let us hope for the best. Whatever stimulus packages, moratorium, or the delays in the payment government is giving, that should be taken very healthily. And it is the duty and responsibility of all of us to bring positivity in the economy. And we should also not think to downsize our companies. We should also not think to retrench our people. We must try to take out as much as possible from the existing team, and wherever the cost optimization, cost competence is required to be done through the technology, that we should do. That's all from my side. Thank you very much.
Sir, please go ahead. Panelists are requested to please unmute yourself.
Unmute yourself. Unmute. Green आएगा ना? Unmute.
Can you hear me, Mr. Singh?
There is some technical problem, I think.
Mr. Sigmi, you need to unmute yourself before talking.
Okay.
तो टॉडी बोल हमारा बच्चा आवाज जाएगा नहीं
Yes, sir, please go ahead.
Good.
Yeah.
So, happy friends. Thanks to Mr. Deepak Sharma and thanks SOCM and thanks to Sharmaji for starting with a very positive note, and this is what is required in our country. First, I would like to congratulate our PM, our BC, all ministers, medical staff who have considered first and thereafter life. And this is what is required by humanity, and this is what is required by our country. We are quite fortunate that we have leaders like Narendra Modi who have steered us through difficult time, and I'm sure now this difficult time would be broadly ending. So everybody knows that this COVID has come with a lot of uncertainties. Maybe the best part of and Indian CEOs are that they are able to create certainty out of uncertainty. And same is the case with Indian cement sector. Let me just introduce for 2 minutes Indian cement sector for everybody's information and knowledge. India's cement sector is the second largest in the world with almost 550 million ton capacity, which is second to China, and the third largest is USA, which will be having about 80 to 90 million ton capacity. So that way, that much bigger we are from USA. Secondly, we are one of the important sector to contribute in a big way to railways exchequer, overall India's exchequer, and as taxes, we do pay roughly 40,000 crore as GST, having 28% GST on cement. We are also biggest employer, directly and indirectly, for the people, and millions of people are connected with cement sector and construction sector on account of cement and construction being one of the core area. Now, if I look at COVID-19, what it has given to us, what's in positive way, what's in negative way. Though everyone is talking of social distancing, but what we talk is it's a physical distancing. But at the same time, this COVID period has brought and it has improved the social connectiveness through virtual means, through technology. So one of the positive part of COVID-19 has been that it has brought people together. It has again forced people to think about the country. It has forced people also in one way or other to serve the society. Similarly, the way technology can be used in this difficult time, that has come as savior, and that has also helped not only the cement sector, but most of the companies, most of the people, that how efficiently they can work from home and in whatever way they would like to operationalize their businesses, their activities, that can be done. Though nobody is warranted and thought of like this, but now this local pollution by stoppage of industries, by stoppage of vehicles on the road, has brought the one of the best climate after 1937. Now, with a distance of 150 kilometer, 200 kilometer, people are able to see Himalaya ranges. That's a very positive part. COVID-19 has also cleaned, though a lot of efforts were being made by the government to clean the Ganges, but now Ganges is as clean as anybody would wish, and they can drink the Ganges water. So a lot of positivities have come from COVID, and I would say at the same time, there are a lot of negativities also. And one of the most negative part is it has created uncertainty in the mind of the people. But at the same time, what cement sector is that such protocol that so as to ensure good health of the people, good care of the people. They have put in place right protocols that whoever enters plant area, whether it's a worker, staff, or fellow, any visitor, it is ensured that physical distancing would be made, they would be properly sanitized, they would have it would be all with these and plants today in India are COVID are COVID that's would be that since 24th March any dispatch of cement, and I would say till 20th of April or 22nd of the April. So that has impacted, particularly if I talk of March, first time in the history of the cement sector, it has seen 24.7% drop in March month in regard to demand, which has also impacted overall FY20 demand growth, and it's almost 1% negative demand growth for FY20. That is also giving signals that in the coming months, how things would be. Though all efforts are being made by the government also, by the real estate people also, the construction companies also, as well as also the cement companies, that how each one of us can support construction activities so that the people are able to get the employment, companies are able to chip in their own economic efforts so that economy doesn't go down. I'm very happy that Sarmaji has given a good picture of that GDP growth can be 2 to 4%, and that would be everybody's wish. And those wishes would also be helpful. But at the same time, I would say the cement sector, though having impacted with loss of revenue since 24th March, very low collections from our dealers, as well as continuing demand of the vendors to pay them, still almost all cement plants have paid their workers, their staff up to 31st March. All salaries have been paid for the April also, and I'm sure the all wages to the workers would be paid by 7th, because cement sector is looking at not the immediate term, but at short term and mid term. And considering that people are the major force for us, major strength for us, the cement sector has taken a call that we must pay and we must support staff. But at the same time, I think the impact on working capital, impact on liquidity is a one area where definitely support of government would be required so that it cement sector can sail through this area. Now the challenges which we are facing today is one, supply chain workability. So important for us, we have cement stocks in our plants, we have cement stock in our godowns in various parts of the country, but at the same time, the major requirement is how we get the trucks and transporters to take the cement and get it to the consuming sector. I would like to share that in last 7 days, many of the cement companies have done their best efforts and have been able to reach to a level of 20 to 40% of their capacity by delivering the cement to the direct consumer, to the customer side. Similarly, the immediate and fast action taken by the government, particularly the Ministry of NHI headed by Gadkari ji, that many of the road projects have already started working, already started consuming cement, have also started giving employment to the people. So that's also positive parts. So we are now looking at how demand would prop up, how government would be supporting, and how government would be continuing their support for infrastructure. You know, the challenge to the government would be if they also come out with some stimulus, some extra stimulus, like the way it is being demanded, that instead of say 0.8 or 1% of the GDP as a stimulus, let it be 5%, 6%, 7%. In that case, there would be bigger fiscal deficit. But at the same time, I think for a year or so, more fiscal deficit would be required so that they can again boost up the economy, and all sectors, whether it's say steel, cement, power, aluminium, or auto sector, they all can also rise up to the occasion and support the economy. Because otherwise, the challenge in India would be to take care of the employment. If unemployment goes very high because of non-lifting of lockdown in timely period, then definitely, in addition to the impact of COVID-19 on the life, the unemployment would also have some impact on the life of the people. So I'm sure that government is fully aware of the situation. And in fact, yesterday only, our Prime Minister has taken two important meetings. One on how to support mineral and mine sector, and second, how to build up speed for execution of the industrial projects. The way now the hatred, maybe rightly or wrongly, which has come up in the whole world about China and Chinese goods. So that may also give a great opportunity for India to catch up those areas, and how we can do more export. Though in cement sector, there are not much opportunities in regard to export, but still, when a lot of new industries, new sectors would start their activities in India, then definitely that would augur well for the cement demand. So in nutshell, I would like to say that yes, there is an uncertain future, but at the same time, the actions which have been taken by all Indians as well as the government, we sure that we will come out with this uncertainty in a positive way. We'll be better off than many countries, and at the same time, cement sector will play its important role in giving back again to the revenue of the government, like the way now in 2 months' time they must have lost about say 9-10,000 crore as a GST. They must have lost. They must have lost big revenue. But at the same time, now we are quite hopeful that slowly when things opens up, cement sector or for the society consumers also. So thanks Deepak ji for the time.
Thank you, Mr. Singhi, for outlining number of areas for Indian cement industry. I understand that there is a lot of uncertainty, but as you suggested, by putting in right protocols, giving confidence to the people, and working collaboratively with the government and other organizations, cement industry can come out of this crisis successfully. We have a huge number of people, almost 340, 330, 340 people listening to this webinar, and they would greatly benefit from your insights and your ideas on what do you see companies in cement industry can do in the coming weeks and months to bring the business back towards normalcy.
Sure. So looking to the way economy is opening up, looking to the way that in rural areas work has started, and the way now government is allowing the movement of people from one state to other, as well maybe after 10-15 days, the way migrant workers would be brought back from their native place to the working place. I am sure cement industry may be able to come to a 40 to 50% capacity utilization by June or July. And if that happens, then definitely we'll be better off than what we might have thought. So important would be for the government, one, to continue to put in more money for infrastructure. At the same time, to support real estate also, so that the construction goes on, so that it supports all type of sectors, just not the cement and steel. And third, let cement industry also take all care the way they are taking in regard to saving their people, in regard to health, in regard to the safety. And the cement industry has contributed in a big way on PM Care Fund, have contributed in a big way to providing meals to the people, as well as to provide PPEs and various other equipment for the medical fraternity to take care of the people. So I'm sure now with the starting of moment, the trucks will start moving. There is no dearth of cement in any cement plant. All cement plants are ready to deliver and rise to the occasion. So I can assure you on behalf of Indian cement sector also, as well as from Dalmia Cement, that we all are ready to serve the society, serve the country, and definitely we will bring the economic back.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Singhi. It looks very promising, and the key point what I take away from this is that both the government and industry work hand in hand, where the government creates the demand through more investments in infrastructure, supporting real estate, but at the same time, the cement industry takes care of its people and is all equipped to supply the material, the cement, wherever it is required across the country. And industry is doing, all its efforts to make that happen. It's very, very insightful thought and talk by you. Let me now move on to Ms. Lopamudra Sen Gupta, and I request Ms. Sen Gupta to share your views on the current COVID crisis and what you foresee in the coming weeks and months.
Yeah, good afternoon all. I thank the opportunity which is given to JSW for participating in this. So let me first start by congratulating our PM, our ministers and the Indian population and also the health worker. So being a country like India where so many population is there, so many people are there and 10, 12 people are staying in one home. So there the kind of discipline which we have, we have shown to best of our ability, that has helped us flatten the curve, and we are much better than countries like USA, Spain and Italy and all these countries. So that is indeed a wonderful thing. People were waiting for catastrophe to happen here, and the way we have managed, it's like wonderful, we could say. So how the impact of COVID-19 on Indian cement industry? So we see almost washed away April 20, cement demand was not there. People were not there in construction sites, they were closed. But we expect certain better performance in May with the construction sites opening up, road projects starting. Demand should have a slender rise in Q2 with better recovery in Q3 and a normal Q4. Because what we feel, the growth path cannot stop, and as and when the things normalize, we will be back to business as usual with the proper health and safety norms, but the construction work will go on. It is expected that all the migrant construction laborers, they are going to now their home locations. There is a kind of migration from the other states, and once they are going to be there in their residential cities and towns for 2 to 3 months at least, as is their tendency. And the return to urban area and construction sites will be a challenge. But we envisage here the ready-mix concrete industry to come up in a big way, because people are not going to stop construction, and ready-mix concrete industries in B and C category cities. So this is a big opportunity for the ready-mix industries. It is expected also after post-pandemic, more investment will be made in infrastructure, in health sector, and hospital constructions, we are expecting it to rise. So this is something we envisage. And a lot of NRIs have now returned to India because of these job cuts and H-1B visas and there. So whatever capital they have, they will be definitely, after settling down for some time, getting involved in entrepreneurial activities, and there will be investments which will be coming in way of small and medium investment, and definitely a part of that we see coming in the construction industry. Real estate and commercial projects are expected to slow down with pay cuts and job redundancy on rise, and work from home concept now coming in, and not to mention the unsold inventory for up to 1 year, and some places in NCR we see up to 4 years in Noida and all these places. However, no major impact we see in road sector, and road construction both in rigid and flexible pavement will continue in both urban and rural roads, as we were discussing during the first session. The rural impact due to PM's focus on self-sufficiency of rural area, major government funding in rural infrastructure development is expected to do. So panchayat level working, block level working in the areas which are orange and green are expected to start. And agricultural, we had a good harvesting season. So the growth in COVID-free zones will start first and impacting more and more cement demands, especially as and when the time goes. So it will not happen at one go, but slowly and slowly, what we feel it is going to be, it is not going to be a episode. It is going to make us come out more and more strong. So this is what we want to share from our side.
Thank you, Ms. Lopamudra. It's lovely to see your view of the industry and especially the demand drivers you have outlined in the coming months. What is also interesting in your views is that the demand will pick up by the zones, and the greener zones will start the activity sooner. So that's quite important that industry starts focusing on the areas where the demand will pick up sequentially. It will not happen all at once. Can I now ask you a question? So far in the lockdown period, since it started on 24th March, what kind of decisions or steps you took which you find very valuable to manage during this lockdown?
Yeah. So, sir, this is indeed a very valuable question from us, because we would like to share what are the steps JSW Cement had taken. So during this lockdown scenario, we had connected to our channel partners and our influencers, which are the engineers and masons and contractors in the remotest location. And we were able to identify the need for basic items like food, clothing, and medicine. So many masons, once their livelihood had gone, it was so sad to see, they had converted into selling of vegetables. So giving of food to them, the giving of daily groceries and medicine to them was something which we did on priority. So how we went about that? So pan India, we are having our cement care vans. So we converted them into our relief vehicles, and they were fully utilized. We are present in southern part, western part, and eastern part. They were fully utilized with the permissions getting from administration level. They were going and they were giving relief to the people who really needed the food, the medicines, the clothing items, and everything. The masons and daily wagers and the channel partners, they utilized it in a big way. So along with that, platform of telephonic connect with the doctors located our plant locations was created for our engineers and channel partner, offering them the opportunity of seeking medical attention on need basis during this challenging scenario, because people cannot go to the hospital. So how do they go about it? So in a dedicated manner, our hospital and our premises, they were giving over the phone and over the webcam and over Zoom call the consultations, and the medicines we were dispatching to our people. Each employee had contributed 1 day gross salary to PM Cares Fund, and as we see, we were very proud to be associated with that. We also had offered a helpline to our employees and their families, because there are aged parents and senior for psychological support, because this is a very trying time. People are staying in home and they don't know what is going to happen. So the helplines were open for psychological support. Along with that, how do we utilize the Tryme Max? Development and implementation of a number of e-learning modules and training programs and webinars for capability building of our internal teams took place, and every day was a daily learning process. So these are the ways, we were working as a team, alibi from our home, but the team was together and we were fully striving this battle.
Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts on the steps you and your organization has taken in the initial stages of the lockdown. Let me now move on to Mr. Sarvana Bhavan, who comes from Niti Aayog. And Mr. Sarvana Bhavan, if you can share your views and thoughts on the current crisis situation, and how do you see cement industry recreating the demand and coming back to where it was and then going from there.
Good afternoon, everyone. My sincere thanks to Asochem, and the comments made by Mr. Mahendra Singhji and Ms. Sengupta was very pleasing actually. That's in the difficult times they have taken all the efforts to keep the flocks intact, and they are paying the salaries and the humanitarian needs on the day-to-day basis. And in respect of cement industry, if you come, actually the overall output has shrunk to minus 24.73, even though the growth rate of the combined core industries is at minus 6.47. This is as on March 2020. So actually now from the first quarter of 2021, it's already resumed. I think only from 1st July things will come into normal. And the construction activities may start, because most of the migrant laborers are trying to go back to their hometown, and once if they come back, that will be almost another 1 or 2 months and things should come to normalcy. And with respect to the construction activities and other things, actually there are a lot of things which is hurting the industry. This is before the COVID came into existence actually. Like the average sale price of limestone was a major dent actually to the cement industry, where they are flagging the issue with all the government platforms for the last 2 years, and nothing has come fruitful to their end. So at this present juncture, I think what are the important issues which the cement industry feels necessary to sustain, that should be, it's not a whole sum of the issues, but I think a major 5-6 issues can be put to the government for brainstorming, like average sale price, this transfer charges, other things will be taken care in the normal amendments which is likely to come. That's what we are feeling the sense actually. And I think some representative should have been in this podium from Ministry of Mines, because they are the major ministry, and Niti Aayog is just a policy think tank where they can give the suggestions to the ministry, and the implementing ministry should have been in this platform. That is a major lacuna which I am seeing in it. There definitely, I think in the mid of June, we'll have an interaction with the cement industry, and we'll list out some major 5-6 issues, not the wholesome issues, and definitely government will have a patient hearing to them and try to work out an amicable solution so that the industry growth should prosper in the days to come. This is my opening remarks, and I'll wait for my time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sarvana Bhavan, and it's very nice hearing from your side that the industry comes up with top 5-6 issues to sustain it through this crisis, and the government will give a patient hearing to it. Can I now quickly ask you a question that you mentioned about, limestone and some other challenges, but in the coming weeks and months, as you have also suggested, some meeting can happen around mid-June. What steps further you see between government industry happening to bring back the supply chain, the labor, the truckers, in the normal operations?
Actually, down beneath the line, 1.5 months is a big period actually, and the cement industry should sustain it for another 1.5 months without much of operations, because there is no demand now, currently projected. Even though the government will come with the infrastructure projects, these projects may take its own time actually. It's not that the moment the government sanctions, it will be put into line immediately. So another quarter is very difficult for the industry to sustain because they have to make their salaries, they have to keep their labor force intact, they have to optimize the resources and keep their things going on. So actually, even last week I interacted with FEMI. There was a webinar. So there are a host of issues which is coming into the government's hearing. So we cannot discuss it in bits and pieces. We have to put all this into one perspective, because ASSOCHAM is a platform, FEMI is a platform, FICCI is a platform. So there are a lot of demands which is coming to the government side. So based on that, I think if the cement industry like CMA can work out an amicable solution and see that some major initiatives are required from the government side, then actually NITI Aayog along with the other nodal implementing ministries, they will sit and discuss it actually, because NITI Aayog is just a policy think tank. We will be spearheading it. That's not a problem for us actually, but we have to talk with the line ministries, because tomorrow when it comes into execution, line ministries are the main ministries who have to function in the grassroots level and put up a roadmap for sustainability. So I request Mr. Singh Ji now to talk with their fellow organizations like CMA, FICCI, FEMI and other organizations and come up with a very dynamic points actually, which at the present juncture government's role is important, not that small issues like having what you call this PSUs, this is private, all those things, because these things we have heard a lot. Last 2 years we have deliberated in line, like level playing field, all those things now we have to set aside now. We want only the major initiatives which the government can assimilate and come up with a solution, because they know how much the government is in a very bad shape actually, because this lockdown last 2 months, it has really ruined the Indian government actually. In spite of the best efforts, actually government is putting all its resources into the pipeline to see that the citizen of India, the last citizen of India is fed in this current crisis. So it is the CMA and other organizations to bring it to the government platform. So what is the main thing which is required from the government at this present juncture? Let us not discuss about the minuscules actually. We want only the major things where the labor force should get intact. Their balance sheets should be in green by the end of 2021. These are the two things I can tell them. And definitely we'll have a patient hearing. There is no second thought to it. We will give a patient hearing. We'll call all the line ministries and we'll come up with a solution definitely.
Thank you. It's very encouraging to see that 2 points, that the balance sheet should be green and the labor should be protected. I think Mr. Singh wanted to add something.
So thanks, Mr. Sarvana Bhavan, for showing very keen interest in cement sector, which can also play an important role. In fact, 2 weeks back, first time it happened that Joint Secretary Shri Anil Agarwalji from DPIIT, he took care of cement sector. We had CEOs meeting with him, highlighted a few points which he assured to settle, and the way positive approach has been shown by the government, that was quite encouraging. So only thing which the cement sector wants is that how employment for workers, for the construction workers can be created, how real estate and construction sector can go up. Cement sector is ready to definitely remain in green, because you must have seen that cement is green on account of its environmental activities also, and otherwise also because of cost efficiencies also it can do better. So, and definitely we would come to NITI Aayog also with our CMA and top executives, so that we can share our thoughts and we can partner with the government for better future.
Welcome, sir. We are always here for a patient hearing.
Thank you.
Great. So let me now move on to Dr. Mohapatra. We started at 12:05 and we will finish at 1:05 in 1 hour. So we have around 8 minutes left. If you can allow me just 1 minute in the end to summarize it, over to you, Dr. Mohapatra. I think you may need to unmute, Dr. Mohapatra. We are not able to hear you. There is some issue with audio. Dr. Mohapatra, can someone in technical team look into it, please? You may need to unmute, Dr. Mohapatra.
Hello. 1 minute.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Hello.
Go
Hello.
ahead.
So thanks to ASSOCHAM for giving me the opportunity to share my thoughts. First of all, we are very much thankful to our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, to support us in these critical situations. So respected Mahendra Singh Ji, the President, CM and Chairman NCB, Mr. B.R. Sharma, Managing Director, Jindal Steel, Sri R. Sarvanamam, SRM Innol, Niti Aayog, and Madam Lopamudra Sengupta, BC, the Vice President, JSW Cement, and Deepak Sharma, Director. As we live through one of the biggest public health emergency in our era, there is a silver lining through the dark clouds. While people lock themselves in, small miracles are beginning to take place as the environment is healing. We have witnessed River Ganga getting crystal clear and the air is getting cleaner. On the other hand, the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on Indian economy has been hugely disruptive. However, I am sure that post-COVID-19, the economic and industrial growth of the country will pick up at a much faster rate, and Indian cement industry will witness higher capacity utilizations of existing installed capacity and new capacity additions, innovations, optimizations, new manufacturing techniques and products, alternate sources of energy, material waste coupled with the Government of India's focus on ease of doing business, and other such promulgated schemes will be the driving parameters for the futuristic growth of Indian cement industry. During these difficult times of COVID-19, NCB stands out and committed to provide support to Indian cement industry while following all advisories and guidelines released by the Government of India from time to time. During the past 1 month and so, we have done enormous churning of futuristic challenges the country is going to face and have geared up ourselves to take up the assignments in the field of sustainability, enhancing the waste utilizations, application of cleaner technology, low carbon footprint of Indian cement industry. Specific teams have been formed and the groundwork has been already started. There is a need to redesign the way we will operate in day-to-day activities through innovation and research. Efforts should be made for digitizations and remote operation of industrial facilities and for alternate ways of working. The impacts of pollution are felt much more by the poor than the rich. The low carbon transition can be accelerated with good policy design and strong innovation. I would like to recall the Paris Agreement of December 2015, which aimed to limit the rise in global temperatures in this century to less than 2 degrees centigrade above pre-industrial levels. By adopting state-of-the-art technological interventions, innovative production techniques, and climate-resilient resource optimization measures, cement manufacturers in India are integrating sustainability within their growth aspirations. The Indian cement industry has adopted low-carbon technology roadmap, which includes increased use of multi-component blended cement, availability of waste utilization as alternate fuel and raw materials in cement industry, energy efficient technology resulting in reduction in energy consumption, use of renewable energy and waste heat recovery, carbon capture and utilizations. Circular economy is an integral part and catalytic parameters for the advancement and strengthening the global economy, and India is not an exception and is eyeing to become 5 trillion economy by 2025. Cement industry is poised to play a foundational role in building economic superstructures of such astronomical magnitude in the country. Cement manufacturing process, by virtue of its raw materials and high kiln temperatures, will be converted into best scavenging stream of the economy globally and more prominently in India. The circular economy, if developed appropriately, appears as a helpful solution to diminish the environmental impact of various industrial sectors, thereby reducing burden on natural resources. From improving energy consumption patterns during the production process to increase the use of alternative fuels by recovering energy from a range of waste stream, use of construction and demolition waste and alternate materials in the construction, the Indian cement industry is gradually positioning itself to be a heart of the circular economy. Indian cement industry has been utilizing waste from different industries like fly ash from thermal power plants, steel slag from steel plants, copper slag from copper industry, lead zinc slag from zinc industry, and leather slag from tannery industries. Therefore, there is a need to check out the benefits associated with circular economy and disseminate the same to all stakeholders to reap its benefit to its fullest extent. As India eyes to achieve 900 million tons mark to 2030, the center point will revolve around availability of basic raw materials such as limestone and the offshoots such as AFR, alternate fuels and raw materials. Geopolymers, solar energy will gain major momentum. These opportunities available to cement industry provide ample scope to turn cement industry from grey to green. Few areas which may give boost to Indian cement industry in these tough times are support the cement industry in utilizing the phosphogypsum, which is plentifully available in India, and FGD gypsum on thermal power plants to reduce the dependency on the imported gypsum. Fast tracks infrastructure, roads, railways, dams need to be developed at an unprecedented pace, speeding up on existing pending projects while initiating new projects at an unprecedented pace. Such action will not only speed the development, at the same time it will also create employment opportunities. So construction of concrete roads to be encouraged on BOT basis. Concrete roads would ensure better quality, durability,
Dr.
and hence
Mahapatra,
longevity of critical infrastructure. Only half a second. Concrete roads are also fuel efficient during transport of goods as compared to traditional bituminous roads. I welcome all cement plants to get in touch with our Center for Continuous Education for knowledge integration in any area of the cement through digital media. We are willing to support the industry in team and capacity building of plant team with emphasis to reduce the downtime and improve the productivity. I would like to opportunity to thank the Government of India and all sectors for their untiring efforts in handling these pandemic situations. I also thank the organization for giving me the opportunity to share my thoughts. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Mahapatra, and thank you all the panelists for the great ideas and the positivity you all have brought around reviving the cement industry and make it thrive in the post-COVID world. Let me quickly summarize what all we have discussed today. There is a big hit on the Indian cement industry with the demand going down by almost 25% in March 2020. But there is a lot of positivity in the industry leaders as well as the government and industry organizations. By working together, they can sail through this tough time and can make cement industry an engine of growth for India. I think three types of themes and ideas which have emerged from our conversation today. And the first one of them is that as the lockdown gets lifted progressively, how do we create the protocols in the factories, offices, and movement of people so that they are safe, but we are able to work with them in a way that the future revival happens. And Mr. Singhi highlighted that social distancing is perhaps a misnomer. It should be physical distancing. Actually, there has been more social connectedness through virtual meetings. The second point which has come up is that the government is willing to give a patient hearing, and if the industry can come up with 5-6 top issues to sail through this crisis, then both the government and industry can work together. And finally, we see a lot of insights on use of digital making it a low carbon footprint industry and protecting the labor by the industry to power it across these tough times. I thank you very much, gentlemen and lady, to join me and ASSOCHAM in this 1 hour interesting conversation. And I thank ASSOCHAM to bring all the leaders together for this very, very interesting conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you to all the panelists and participants also. Thank you very much.
I thank all the audience also who joined. Thank you very much.
Right.
Thank you.